Hello guys, what is up? Wave Riding Heroes here, and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. How are you guys doing? In today's video, we're going to be discussing why the Arrowverse is falling apart and why it is slowly dying. The Arrowverse is a bunch of shows put together in one universe. That's why it's called the Arrowverse. Now, let's talk about Legend of Tomorrow. Now, Legend of Tomorrow is a pretty big show in the Arrowverse. It's one of the first 4 shows ever made in the Arrowverse. And so, if you didn't know, season 6 is rolling out. We get new episodes every Sunday on the CW, and, well, let's just say it's not the best season. Now, first of all, the one big thing, this is why, a lot of the Arrowverse is falling apart, is because they never wear their costumes. It's not a superhero show anymore. And, the Arrowverse is a superhero show universe. So, that really sucks, that they never wear their costumes, which symbolizes they're trying to go away from that whole superhero show thing, and they're trying to become their own thing. Now they're kind of drifting apart from the Arrowverse. They barely mention any other characters in the universe, which is really bad. Now we also know that Arrow ended about a year ago now. Wow, guys, yeah, about a year ago, and it impacts the situation a lot because Arrow was the show that started this Arrowverse. I mean, it's literally called Arrowverse because Arrow started it, Arrow founded it, and Arrow was honestly a really big hero, and his ending wasn't exactly good. It was pretty, it wasn't really satisfying, which was really sad because he was a big character in the universe. He was the founder, and I really wanted a better ending for him. But since he died, that impacts the situation a lot. Now, with the new show on the block, Superman and Lois, the brand new Arrowverse show. Now, the thing about it is that, don't get me wrong, it's really good. I love the show, but it's a new formula. I mean, it's barely a superhero show, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I love the show still. I love it. It's a really good show. I love the writing. It's just, it's not a superhero show. It's more like a drama family show in the good way. But, even though it's a good show, this still ruins a big part of it because Arrowverse is a superhero show universe. So, since it's barely a superhero show, it's kind of drifting apart too, which is a little sad, but it's okay. Maybe the Arrowverse writers are trying to bring all the shows into this more dramatic thing, more like family thing, more situation parts, not related to superhero stuff, but we'll definitely have to see. Now, this isn't really big, but Black Lightning and Supergirl are ending. Those are pretty major shows, but, not as big as Arrow. But I just wanted to put it in here that those 2 shows will be ending. And yeah, so now, let's get to the crossover this year. Now, the crossover, well, there is no crossover this year. And that's really sad, because now that there's no crossover, the only thing that pulls all these shows together into an Arrowverse is people mentioning other shows, like people mentioning, oh, let's go to the Wave Rider, or, oh, remember that guy who was shooting arrows, what's his name, oh, Green Arrow, or stuff like that, and even with that, there are no more mentions, and that's really, really bad, because there's nothing connecting all these shows now, there's nothing connecting the Arrowverse, and it's gonna fall apart. This is how it's gonna fall apart, and I think it's a really bad idea not to make any crossover this year, especially with Supergirl and Black Lightning ending. I think they should, die with the other heroes watching or something. I don't know how to explain it. I just think Barry should be there to see Supergirl die or something. The big sacrifice, because obviously there's going to be a big sacrifice. Now, talking about Barry, let's actually talk about The Flash. Now, Season 7 isn't actually bad. It's just different from the first few seasons. Especially with Arrow not being there. Arrow was a huge part of the first seasons, since he was such a big inspiration, they always mentioned him, and all of that. And I guess the thing with The Flash is that it's the only Arrowverse show now that's kind of being superhero-y, other than Batwoman. But yeah, I mean, The Flash is the only really superhero show in the Arrowverse that's left. And I guess it's good that we had that show because it's holding together the whole Arrowverse if you actually think about it. And honestly, I really don't know what the Arrowverse writers have in mind. I hope they bring this Arrowverse back together, maybe next year when COVID is all over or something. But we'll definitely have to see. I'm really interested in seeing how they want to plan this whole Arrowverse thing out this year. The seasons aren't over. Guys, I recommend watching The Flash because it's honestly one of the only, and Superman and Lois. Flash and Superman and Lois are honestly the only two shows that are actually good in 2020 in the Arrowverse. So if you're looking for some CW Arrowverse shows to watch, I definitely recommend watching those two shows. They're definitely going really well, but we'll definitely have to see how the writers will bring back the Arrowverse, if they do actually. Might split up, but yeah, we'll definitely have to see. And I will have hopefully I will have another video up on the channel next week. Remember, we do a lot of shows, and I'd really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe and like the video if you did enjoy. Comment what your theories are, and I'll see you in the next video or live stream. Peace.